This is The Joe Gaither Show on BamaCentral.com.
Good morning, Tuscaloosa, Internet world, West Alabama. How we doing today on a Thursday? It's a rainy Thursday in West Alabama, but it's the Joe Gaither Show on BamaCentral, BamaCentral.com. You're hanging out with us on the BamaCentral Facebook page, YouTube channel. We're hanging out live in the Derek Daniels State Farm Studios. You're probably listening to us on Spotify, Apple Podcast, Amazon. We appreciate everybody who subscribed, rated, reviewed the program, and jumps in and joins us each and every day. I got you right there, Mason. We good. We're hanging out in the Derek Daniels State Farm Studios. We're going to have a lot of fun today talking to Alabama and Georgia. We thank Derek for sponsoring the program, calling for all of your insurance needs at 205-758-3391. Like a good neighbor, Derek Daniel is there for all your home life auto insurance needs. Give him a call today. He can take care of you. He's taken care of me many times for many emergencies that I've had. So I appreciate Derek and his crew. He can take care of you today at 205-758-3391. Like I said, yes, we are live in the Derek Daniels State Farm Studios with our man Mason Woods. We're going to talk Alabama and Georgia. We're going to take a voicemail from our friend Robert from Brookwood. You can call the voicemail line at 205-462-7340, extension 800. If you've got an opinion about the game tomorrow, make sure you do call between now and tomorrow's show for your predictions. You can leave your predictions. Go ahead and tell me why I'm wrong, why Alabama is going to win the game. You can tell me who you think is going to be the player of the game, players to watch, this, that, and the other. Give me all your predictions on the voicemail line. We're going to take a voicemail, and then we're going to turn it over to our interview with Brooks Austin. We talked to Brooks Austin yesterday, the Film Guy Network on YouTube. We got thousands and thousands of followers on the YouTube channel, breaking down film and getting you ready for Georgia games and really football games in general, college football games in general. So really appreciated his time yesterday. We'll play that interview for you in just a little bit. And yeah, we want to get into basically what Hunter wrote on the cover of BamaCentral.com, big key stat that differentiates Alabama and Georgia. And we want to talk about the availability report as well, as Alabama filed their very first availability report of the season. Didn't have to file an availability report for Wisconsin, ULM, or Florida State because those are non-conference games. But you kick off the conference schedule and you got to file an availability report. So we'll talk about what we see on the report with you and with Mason Woods. Good. Follow Mason Woods at MAWoods_ on the Twitter machine. Up late last night writing a Vanderbilt commit. Good morning, Mason. How we doing?
Yes, up late last night writing about a Vanderbilt commit.
Go Doors, anchor down.
Anchor down. Everybody, it seems like everything is going well in Nashville. They're landing commits in basketball, landing commits in football. Everything is rolling there. It seems like the NIL money is maybe flowing a little bit. People are starting to take notice that things are happening in Nashville, so I'm happy for them. But yeah, no, we got to stop. We got to stop announcing commitments at 9:30 at night.
What are we doing, guys?
That's crazy. Tweet comes through 9:35 p.m. It's just like, what are we doing? So, I did not post it last night. Got it ready for this morning. It went live at 7 a.m. and it is on the Vanderbilt website for anyone that is interested in reading about Luke Babin, 2027 quarterback. I'm doing good.
Where are you from, Luke?
Woodville, Texas.
Texas, this. Commit at 9 a.m. so you can have all day. Luke, great job.
Yeah.
Anchor down. At this point, you're already washed through today's news cycle.
I'm worried that, part of me is worried that he was ashamed to be committing to Vanderbilt, and that's why it was so late. I hope that that's not the case. But yeah, no, just interesting timing. Maybe bump those things up a little earlier in the day. But to any potential recruits that maybe hear this, announce earlier in the day. Give us time to be able to write it and get it posted that day and have it going. That was tough. But I'm doing all right this morning. Woke up with a little bit of a sore neck. Must have slept funny last night. So, a little bit of a tough start to the morning, but we're getting going.
Rusty and Seamus cramping the bed.
I guess so. Yeah, they were on one last night. I had to yank Seamus out of the top of the closet because he tried to use the clothes as a ladder to climb up there. That was good times.
Oh yeah, definitely. Abby lately has been, goes to the crate for bed easy, lock her up. The last couple of days, Bruce the cat always sleeps on my on my hip. But the last 3, 4, 5 days, as soon as Abby sees Bruce settling down, she gets all whiny, like, "Why can't I sleep right there?" And I'm like, "Dude, we've been doing this for like years now. Like, what's up with you? You getting jealous all of a sudden?" So good times. Very happy to see a rainy morning. Tuscaloosa needs rain in a bad way. We went through a stretch there late spring where it was rain every single day, no matter what. And we've gone a couple weeks now without good rain. So happy to see that. Looking forward to a big day. Looking forward. We got any interesting Thursday night football tonight? Let's see. ESPN.
Who is it
We'll go to the
tonight?
worldwide
I don't even
leader.
remember. I know that I was shafted by the NFL wow, I can't say that word. Stat keepers. We'll just say that. We'll say stat keepers.
Statistician.
Paulson Adebo. I have video evidence of him getting 2 pass breakups in his last week's game against the Chiefs. He, however, only received credit for one of them. And I did research to try to find out who the stat keepers are for the NFL. I did find the company or whoever it is that actually is the official stat keepers. They do not have a way to contact them, however.
They said, "Don't talk to us."
Yeah, I'm sure they get thousands of requests from people for correcting stats. But mine is real, dang it. And I lost my fantasy football matchup because of it. But it's okay. I'll bounce back this week. Playing the worst guy in the league, so it's okay.
Good guy to get back to have a bounce back with. It starts tonight, 7:15. Seahawks are at the Cardinals. Seahawks 1.5-point favorites, and then on the college side, you got 6:30 on ESPN. Army is at East Carolina. ECU a 5.5-point favorite. To pay attention to that ECU game. They're coming to Tuscaloosa next year because we're not doing the West Virginia trip. So that might be something that you might be interested in tonight on your televisions. Let's get the show started with the voicemail machine because we want to go keep promoting that. You guys can call us at 205-462-7340, extension 800. Leave your predictions for the game. I know my man Robert from Brookwood already has some thoughts on this weekend's game between Alabama and Georgia.
Guys, Robert from Brookwood. Hope all is well. Great shows you've been having. My comment this weekend is I just can't – Alabama can beat anybody at home, but they can't seem to beat nobody on the road. I just can't trust this team on the road till they win a big one, and I don't know if this is it. Later on in the year at South Carolina, Missouri, and Auburn, yes, but right now I want to say Bama's going to win, but I'm going 28-24 Georgia, and I hope to God I'm wrong. Have a good day, guys.
Ooh, 28-24 Georgia, says Robert from Brookwood. Talking about the road struggles, Mason Woods.
Yeah, I mean, he's exactly right. This Alabama team, since Caleb DeBoer has taken over, has really not proven anything on the road. They've hardly been able to find any semblance of success on the road, and I'm not sure what's going to change that. I am hopeful that they have figured some things out after such an embarrassing performance last season, and then that coming into this season with your performance against Florida State. But yeah, no, I'm right there with Robert. I don't feel exactly confident that they can overcome those road woes.
What if Coach like this is not going to happen? But what if we weren't that fan. I went to a very nice high school, but we didn't do the fanciest things all the time. We did it occasionally. Many Fridays, we're leaving school at 3 o'clock, at 2 o'clock, at 1 o'clock to get to a game, to drive to a game. We hardly ever went the day before Thursday, right? The boys are going to go on Friday. They're going to go on Friday midday, and they're going to, stay outside of Athens by 20, 30 minutes or so, and stay in a team hotel. What if it's a 6:30? It's a 7:30 kickoff, right? It's late. It's the last little window here.
Prime time.
Yeah, it's 6:30 ABC. What if we just woke up early Saturday morning? Hey guys, bus leaving at 7:30. Bus leaving at 8 o'clock Saturday morning. Fly on over there Saturday. Just totally jack up the routine. Fly on over there Saturday. Go right into game mode. You stay in your own beds on Friday night. Like, I don't know. That's a wild take, and that's a wild thought. It's not going to happen. But the point is, what is Coach DeBoer doing to mix it up on the road? I mean, you didn't work whatever the routine was on the opening weekend against Florida State. Now, Florida State, good team, and
we know what the issue was: is players getting DoorDash and things at 2-3 in the morning, letting their friends come in and out of their dorms.
They're getting all the ladies coming in late. I don't believe that for 1 second.
No,
honestly.
I don't necessarily.
I bet you had one player that. And actually, I bet you had a GA.
That's what I think.
A GA or a support staff person who
someone that just so happens to look about the same age as the players.
Yeah, wearing athletic gear, or ordering some DoorDash late.
Potentially a former player himself, so he might even look the part.
So that's my bet there. But point being,
something's not working.
Right. You got to review the itinerary, review the entire process of these road games. Here's
what they need to do.
Yeah.
They need to fly over there, and he needs to, slip a few hundred bones to the pilot and just say, hey, buddy, when we reach max altitude, why don't you just cut the engine off for a second? We'll scare everybody real good.
We almost died yesterday.
Mindset right there.
We almost died yesterday. Of course, we're going to play with our hair on fire. The last road game Alabama won under Coach DeBoer was at LSU, 42-13. Then you have to go all the way back to the Wisconsin game, 42-10 at Wisconsin.
Which LSU is impressive, sure. I'll give you that one. I feel like you still almost have to put an asterisk on it just because of how
they folded.
Yeah, like it was just such an apparent quitting from LSU.
The defense said we can't tackle for.
I don't really. I mean, it's still it's impressive road environment. Sure, you played well on the road in Death Valley there. When LSU, I don't remember what they were going into that game, but it was a pretty highly, touted matchup. Probably, I'm sure it was a top 25 matchup. Probably, maybe even a top 10. But yeah, I just
14.
Okay, so your track record is just not there, though. I'm not putting that was impressive, sure, but with everything else stacked up against it, it doesn't really give me any confidence.
Yeah, it was number 11 versus number 14, 15 according to some polls. So it just depends on whatever poll you were looking at. Top 15 matchup.
Sure. Good. That's a good road win. I mean, you can put that feather in your cap. That's nice. You went to Death Valley and took it to them. But then you lost at Oklahoma to the worst Oklahoma team they've had in a decade. You lost at Tennessee. You lost at Vanderbilt. So, you lose. I'm taking that feather right back out of your hat, buddy.
So Kane Womack's been talking about protecting the sideline.
What does it mean?
Well, I think it just means that you're getting, the sidelines start to get down and you don't have enough guys rah-rahing and hey, guys, come on, we can do it. We're only down 7-0. We're only down 14-7.
I mean, who do we think has stepped into that role outside of Tim? Because we know it's Tim Keenan.
Right.
I mean, I have not seen anybody really take on that very obvious vocal leadership role. So I don't know necessarily why it would show up this week.
Can you just give 10 grand more to just rah-rah everybody?
Come on. Yeah.
Like, because he's more like support staff, recruiting staff. But, like, you just need some. So you don't – I honestly look at the staff, and I think they're good guys, and I think they're quality coaches. But, like, I'm talking about the actual coaches. Who's out there going just mother –
a lot of pencil pushers out there.
Right.
A lot of X's and O's guys.
I think Kane does that at practice.
Yeah.
I think Kane Womack does that at practice, but when he's in the game, it's just locked into next play, trying to figure you out.
He's got too much on his plate to be the motivator.
Right. Right. And so,
but is that also is that by his own design though? Is that kind of his own doing, just being too, everything has to be so,
Well, can it be Freddie Roach? Coach Roach, can you just get out there and talk about Crimson Pride?
You got to do something, Freddie Roach.
Right. We're going to talk to Brooks Austin here in a little bit, but Brooks has been I watched a lot of his stuff over the last handful of days just to get ready for that discussion, and talked about Kane Womack, and he's like, Kane will just sit in the same thing the whole game. Now, whatever he thinks is the best defense for that matchup and for that game, he's going to sit in it the whole time. And it made me think about it. And he started bringing up explosives that Alabama's given up late, the 4th and 1 to Vanderbilt, and the Dylan Bell double move against Georgia last year. And it's like, if you sit in the same stuff, offensive coordinators will figure you out by the end of the game.
I mean, this is kind of what we talked about with Georgia beating Tennessee.
Yes, exactly.
Gunnar Stockton just noticed the whole game. All right, you're going to give me those opportunities. I will take them.
Yeah, man coverage. I'll take this crosser. Yeah. I'll hit this slot fade. Like it'll be what it is, and I'll just try to beat man coverage with my good athletes. And Georgia has really, really good athletes, especially. Because they went in the transfer portal and said, "Oh, wide receiver, you want to come?" Yep. Zachariah Branch. They ended up getting the kid from Texas A&M. Where is it? Noah Thomas from Texas A&M. And then they ended up. London Humphreys was last year that they got him, and London was from Vanderbilt, wasn't it? Yeah, I think London was from Vanderbilt. Kobe Young from Miami the year prior. Like they just said, hey, this guy's a gamer. This guy can figure it out. We just got to get him some weapons.
Yeah. That was their recipe for success with Stetson Bennett.
I think Robert is correct. I'm just like
I think it might be a little higher scoring than the score prediction he gave us, but I do think he's right. It's a close Georgia victory.
Now, two of Brooks's co-hosts picked Georgia. Brooks picked Alabama, and like
his reasoning was sound when you talked to him.
Just vibes, basically.
Yeah, I get it. I mean, it's the same reason that I picked LSU to lose week 1 this year.
Right. My fantasy football group chat's gonna love that because like I'll come in here with analytics X, Y, Z, A, B, C. This is the reason this is gonna happen, and I'll get met with vibes, bro. Oh, we're taking the other team just because of vibes. And I'm like,
there is, and I don't know what it is. We may have seen it start to slip last season, but there is some sort of mental hurdle with Kirby Smart playing the Alabama Crimson Tide. I don't know what it is. There is some sort of non-X's and O's, non-football related beast there that he just really has a hard time conquering.
Conquered it in 2021 in Indianapolis.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. It took some special things to happen that game. It took some special performances from some special players.
Yeah, Jameson getting hurt.
Yeah. I hate to be that guy, but
Ajayi Hall not having any hands.
Man, the other day I saw a clip of this killed me. It was some old clip, not old. It was a clip of a high school wide receiver jamming a guy just into the dirt and then really hammering it down, standing over him, flexing on him. And I'm like, oh man, what a play! Go to the comments. Is like, yeah, that was Ajayi Hall. It just made me remember how in love with him I was as a recruit. Just never panned out.
Yeah, great spring game.
I mean,
one great spring game.
There is just some weird like demon on Kirby's back, and it's the Alabama Crimson Tide that I don't know what it is. I mean, I think the Justin Fields fake punt is like the best example. Now that was early on, but like no one in their right mind is making that call. But it was just just like this strange, I have to do it. I have to do something. And he made the most baffling call we've ever seen potentially. I don't know. I like I said, I think we maybe saw it sort of slip last year with Georgia making that remarkable comeback and almost sealing the game. Maybe we'll see that trend continue this year where that has flipped,
Mike Bobo was dicing Kane Womack apart in the second half. Now, granted, it was 4 downs. They basically were going for it every 4th down, but it was like, hey man, we're emptying the clip right here.
I mean, I don't really have any reason to believe
if
why
we
you
die,
see that
we
this
die.
Year. Hey, I want to see that from both sides this year.
Let's look at Hunter Decipher, BamaCentral, Alabama Crimson Tide on SI, right in the cover for this morning. We'll look at this quick stat, then we'll look at the availability report, and then we'll get to our conversation with Brooks Austin. Writing about third down defense. Bulldogs defense allows opponents to convert third downs 29.6% of the time, basically 30%. 30% of the time, 28th best mark in college football. So top 30 defense and getting off the field on third down. Guess where Alabama's is, unless you've already looked at it already.
I haven't. I'm going to take a guess and say they are 110th.
Okay. Wow, you are not too far off. Yeah, scrolling on down. The Crimson Tide defense allowing opponents to convert 45.96%. So basically 46% of the time on third down. So 16% more. Good for 100. 100 on the dot.
Pretty close.
100 out of 136 teams.
That is bad.
Ugh, getting off the field on third down. And like, that's my biggest thing. It's like, if you are the Alabama defense, you're going to have to get Georgia into third and long to have the right to rush the passer. If they're in 3rd and 2, if they're in 3rd and 4, if they're in 3rd and 3, you're going to be eating Gunner Stockton run all day long. And it's going to be, oh, you're sitting on Gunner Stockton pull? Well, Nate Frazier's just going to take this. Or you are pulling down on that. We'll hit a little screen. Like, you're going to leave.
Branch.
Right.
Zachariah Branch.
You better put some respect on his name.
He's gonna make me. He's
gonna make you know his name. His mama calls him Zachariah. So you're gonna leave Mike Bobo with every option in the playbook at 3rd and 4. And I'm honestly concerned. I mean, we've been concerned about Alabama's running game. About Alabama in 3rd and 6, 3rd and 8, 3rd and 9, 3rd and 10. Now, I think Ty's a gamer. I think he's read the field really nice over the last 2 games. But you're going to have to, like, flip it the other way. Yeah. Alabama, you got to be in 3rd and 2, 3rd and 3, so that, hey, Ty Simpson runs on the table here. Oh, we could just hammer it twice with Jam Miller and go for it on 4th down, 4th and 1. Or Ryan Williams screenplay, or we can get in a bunch and have, Jeremy and Ryan clear out, and bam, Isaiah Horton on the screen from outside in, or on the slant from outside in. It's going to be an easy pass. We're converting. We're moving on.
Yeah, I mean, those 3rd and shorts are just so, or 3rd and longs are just so brutal for your offense because, yes, like you said, Ty has earned a bit of my trust so far this season. He's played well. He's played good enough through the last 2 weeks at least to earn some credence there. But I don't trust him on 3rd and longs to just convert all of them. It slices your playbook in half from what you can do. You're kind of stuck in this weird limbo zone where you want to pass because you have 8 yards to gain, but you can't really send your receivers on intermediate routes because they take a little too long to develop. You kind of got to send them on short routes. And it's like, all right, Ryan Williams, it's up to you to beat one guy and get to the first down. But you're 5'9", 170 pounds. I don't know that you're necessarily going to be the guy beating someone across the, right in a tough yardage kind of slot spot like that. So, yeah, you have to, if you're Alabama, stay on schedule and be in those 3rd and shorts. And then if you're the Alabama defense, force Georgia into those 3rd and longs. But and it's so much easier said than done.
All right, that's what my biggest concern is, getting off the field, and why I think you got to generate some turnovers.
Let's be honest, even if Alabama's getting Georgia on a 3rd and long, it's just it's everybody up front. No one has any gap soundness. It is just, here's a wide open lane for Gunner Stockton to step into and run for 9 yards. So it doesn't really matter for Alabama's defense, at least from what we've seen so far this year.
Right. You have Georgia's good skill position players running, 15, 20-yard routes and down the field, running straight down the field, and the DBs going with them. Oh, good coverage, guys. And Gunner Stockton runs for 12 yards.
Because
slides for a first down.
8-yard gap between your, between Tim Keenan and whoever else is out there.
Oh, Deontay Lawson, I hope your knee's feeling good. How many shows?
For Deontay's sake, Gunner Stockton is not that fast.
No, he's not Castellanos fast.
He's not even Ty Simpson fast.
No, but he's tough as he's tough. He's tough,
and he'll lay a shoulder down probably and not be afraid to take some hits.
Yeah,
but he's not going to be. I agree with that. I'm not necessarily scared of him outrunning Deontay Lawson.
How many shows did we do in the summer worried about the inside linebackers? Like 20. Okay, so that's where we are here. I think that stat is going to be very, very important on Saturday. And I think Alabama fans, you've got to be praying to the turnover gods, because I don't see very many traditional stops for the Alabama defense.
Non-offensive turnover is going to be a absolute game changer in this game if you can get one.
Yes, and
did I say non-offensive turnover? I meant touchdown.
Well, that would be insane. Absolutely. You get a turnover, I think that you're gonna, and the momentum of the game in the stadium is going to be just a huge.
That'll take the air out of the entire play.
You're gonna have the 10,000 Alabama, the 7,000 Alabama fans going absolutely berserk if you get a turnover, and the other 95,000 is gonna be like, is it happening again? Mm-hmm. Is it happening again? So we'll see I think that's going to be a huge, huge key to this game. Let's look at the availability report because we don't want to waste too much more of your time. We had a great conversation with Brooks Austin, Georgia Bulldogs on SI. We're going to get to that right after we looked at yesterday's availability report. Alabama, pretty obvious. We kind of know what's going on. Hey, the only big thing here is Jam Miller not even listed on the availability report, not even listed as probable, which we were expecting him to play, but not even listed. So Jam Miller, full go.
I mean, I still am in the camp of I think we're not going to see more than like 10 touches for him, but that, maybe we see a little more. I don't know. That gives me a bit more confidence, I'll say.
Yeah, absolutely. So I think that's a good thing if you're an Alabama fan, that he's good enough to not even be healthy enough to not even be on the availability report. You got Tim Keenan, probable. We all kind of knew that, and Kane Womack essentially told us on Monday that he is going to play. We knew Jeremiah Beeman, ACL, out. Mm-hmm. We knew, oh my gosh, Jamarian Latham out. And just to quick tidbit, some of his family members are on the social media machines really giving praise to God for protecting him, and it sounds like that he's going to be just fine. It sounds like everything's going to be A-okay. They're just running more tests and kind of making sure he's good before they let him out of the hospital. I have no earthly idea. I don't even want to speculate. Is he coming back this year? When's he coming back this year? Who cares? Right. Yeah. It just sounds like he is going to be a healthy person, and we'll see what happens with football in a little bit. Yeah. So I want to thank God for that. Then those are the only two guys that are officially out already, Jamarian Latham and Jeremiah Beeman. Tim Keenan, probable, and Danny Lewis, who we haven't seen all year, probable. Danny Lewis, the walking injury.
Yeah,
I mean, his whole time here in Alabama.
Yeah, it's just.
I'm not trying to be mean or rude,
but disappointing.
His whole career at Alabama.
Yeah.
Well, Danny Lewis is dealing with something.
It's never. Yeah, it's always just he's dinged up.
Right.
It's a. And I don't know what the exact injuries have been, but it's just a thing, a hamstring or ankle sprain, or it's never he tore his ACL or he, sure, knock on wood, but yeah, it's always just a little nagging injury with him, and that's a tough spot to be. Hate it for him.
All right, and so for Georgia, you've got a couple of different names. Not really very many major contributors. One major contributor. Ethan Barber, backup tight end. Malachi Tolliver, backup offensive lineman, and Thomas Blackshear, backup wide receiver. So three guys not really going to be making an impact. Haven't really made an impact on the team through 3 games. Don't really think that if you're a Georgia fan, you're oh man, our 8th string wide receiver. But what is interesting is Ernest Green III, presumed starting right tackle, is listed as doubtful. And we heard from Brooks Austin yesterday, and we didn't specifically talk about him injured, but he did comment about it was Bo Hughley stepping into the right tackle role towards the end of that Tennessee game and doing fairly well. But right tackle, big question mark for the Georgia offense. I think probably the only question mark on the Georgia offense.
Yeah, I would say so.
So if you are LT Overton, if you are named Quay Russaw or Yanzi Pierre, you are looking at Bo Hughley and you're looking at this offensive line. Here's your vulnerable spot. Like, guys,
go make it happen. Got to.
I was asked on the Stingray show yesterday my X factors for the game, and defensively, it's you, LT Overton, it's you, Quay Russaw. You guys got to hem the ends inside. You got to control the edges and rush with discipline. So we'll see if they can do that.
Hope they can.
Yeah. Anything else you want to get into, Mason, before we take a small little break and play this interview with Brooks Austin?
No, I think that's all for today from me. Not a ton of recruiting news in the Alabama space yesterday.
Cameron Metzger joining us on Facebook. We appreciate Cameron joining us each and every time on the comments. Y'all nailed it. Gunner's legs and the tight ends are going to give our defense fits. And so, yeah, I'm pretty concerned about that for sure. Cameron, thanks for joining us on the Facebook machine. Hope you enjoy this conversation we're about to have with Brooks Austin. We joined Brooks yesterday afternoon. So here we go. We want to remind you that the program is brought to you by Derek Daniel, State Farm Insurance. Call Derek for all of your insurance needs at 205-758-3391. Like a good neighbor, Derek Daniel is there. He can help you out with your home, your life, your auto insurance needs. Call him to see how much money he can save you today. If you're in the state of Alabama, you don't even have to be in Tuscaloosa. He can cover you as long as you're in the state of Alabama, especially for your auto insurance, for your life insurance. Those are his big things right there. Call him at 205-758-3391. Get a quote on your auto insurance today. Compare it to the auto insurance you're already getting. He got me better coverage for less money. So I did switch from one of the big box brands to State Farm, and he's taking care of me. He can take care of you. 205-758-3391.
And welcome back here on a Thursday. It's the Joe Gaither Show on BamaCentral, BamaCentral.com, and we're about to get a whole lot smarter as we prepare for Alabama and Georgia with Brooks Austin, the Film Guy Network. You subscribe to him already on YouTube, the Film Guy Network. Shut up and grind the tape. You can read him at Georgia Bulldogs on SI and follow him on the Twitter machine at Brooks Austin BA. Brooks, good afternoon. How you doing today, sir?
I'm doing good, Joe. Hey, that's a professional lead-in right there. Everybody seems to stumble over it. They can't quite get all the responsibilities tied up into one sentence right there. That was hit out the park. Good job there.
I appreciate it. Just trying to live up to the on SI name right there. Appreciate rubbing elbows with you at SEC Media Days a couple of different times, and I'm really, really excited about Alabama going over to Athens this weekend, Sanford Stadium. First time since 2015. Big old rainstorm then, but maybe a little rain in the forecast. We'll see how it turns out. Brooks, what's the best place to start here? Because I don't think Alabama has a shot to win this game. I've been going 2 on the confidence scale all week long, and I've been watching you condemn the Alabama offensive line, and I think that's really where it starts here. Well, really for Alabama, the defensive line, the defensive front. But you picked Alabama this week. So why? Why is Alabama going to go into Athens despite everything we see over the last 3 games for each program? Why is Alabama Kalen DeBoer going to going to quell his road problems in Athens?
So first and foremost, I hate doing predictions. Like, as much film as I watch, they give me no general good feeling about predicting what's actually going to happen. I'm the analysis afterwards guy. I think I'm great at that. The prediction stuff I'm not very good at. But to be honest with you, there are 2 predictions every year until I'm proven wrong or proven otherwise that are nice and easy for me. Okay, it's Alabama versus Georgia, and it's Georgia versus Tennessee. Until Josh Heupel beats Kirby Smart, I will pick Kirby Smart to beat Josh Heupel. Until Georgia beats Alabama in the regular season, I will be picking Alabama to beat Georgia. I applied the same process this time last year when obviously Georgia was headed to Tuscaloosa. So nothing makes – I'm with you. Like, when I look at it on film, when I look at it on paper, when I look at whatever I look at in terms of normalcy to make these predictions, I feel like Georgia's got some advantages. But that doesn't mean a hill of beans normally in this prediction for me. Just ride what, unless it doesn't happen or unless you're proven otherwise type of prediction for me, to be honest.
I think that is sound reasoning, but this may be the year that teams are starting to buck trends. We saw LSU get the week 1 win, so maybe Georgia does something this year. I want to start with those advantages that you mentioned that Georgia maybe has over Alabama, and let's just start with the offensive line for Alabama. I am not confident in what Alabama has shown from the offensive line through the first 3 weeks of the season. I think you obviously go back to that Florida State game. It was pretty atrocious across the whole front, except for maybe Parker Brailsford. And then, kind of since then, it hasn't really been a whole lot better. They haven't been able to establish much of a run game. They've been all right in pass pro, but without a run game, how far can you really get as an offense? Where do you think that, or how much of an advantage do you think Georgia really has over Alabama in that department?
So, I mean, you're correct. Alabama has not been able to run the football through 3 weeks. And when I looked at 3 games, when I looked at that Wisconsin box score, I just assumed that Wisconsin sold their soul to stop the run. I just assumed they loaded the box up and just committed a bunch of people to stopping the run. And then I turned the film on, and that wasn't exactly the case. I didn't feel like Wisconsin had to overcommit themselves to hold Alabama relatively inefficiently in the run game. I think a lot of that also has to do with the lack of Jam Miller, him not being healthy the first 3 football games for Alabama. That being a veteran presence, they were very vanilla in their run game against Florida State. And I think a lot of that had to do with the fact that the vet wasn't there, right? And I think that was a suddency thing, if my memory serves me correct, right? That kind of happened to them late in the camp process. So you're probably giving a lot of reps to the old head there, getting him ramped up into what the new offense is going to look like without Jalen Milroe featured in the run game, right? So trying to get him acclimated to a quote-unquote newer system or a new style of system, and then all of a sudden he's not available. Now we got to put Richard Young out there and do it really by committee in the first 3 weeks. And I feel like they were very vanilla. I would imagine they'd be a little bit more dynamic and a little more diverse in their run game as he continues to get healthy. I just don't know, and perhaps you guys can attest to this and give me some more information. Is he going to be himself? Like, I know he's probably going to look fast. He's probably going to be himself from the lower body down. But what happens when we take that first hit? Are we going to be 4 quarters of Jam Miller, or are we going to be 2 quarters of Jam Miller and the back half's going to be him biting his mouthpiece real hard because his shoulder hurts? I don't know what we're actually going to get out of him. But no, you're right. The offensive line performance so far in the run game from Alabama has been less than suspect. The advantage for me is speed rush versus Caden Proctor. Anybody that is able to get off of the ball and get home quickly has really spun 74 around for 3 years now. He's really, really good in the run game. He's really good once he gets his hands on you. But there is a limitation right now with regards to stopping the speed rush, something that I think he's going to get a good bit of Saturday if Georgia's defense earns the right to get them in those situations. Look, this doesn't rear its head if you're not in 3rd and 9. If you're in 3rd and 4, an edge rusher's not pinning his ears back. If you're in 3rd and 9, then everybody has a problem for pass protecting, especially the left tackle, who I would argue is slightly overweight.
Slightly overweight is an understatement. We talked to him last week, and he said he was playing at 363. He said he lost 20 pounds already. And I said, well, how much are you weighing right now? And he said, 63, 64. So take you back to the beginning of the year. You're playing at 380? So this transition.
It's really weird to me, Joe, because and I talked about this summer with him. The best in the world at what he does. He's 6'6". He's not a 6'9" athlete. Like, he's 6'6". The best in the world at his size choose to play at 330 pounds. It is a conscious decision to even play at 365. I would argue he's still 30 pounds overweight. So we went into a season willingly being 50 pounds overweight against, the world standard, the best of the best on Sunday, choose to play this position at 330. They don't choose to play it at 365.
And so this leads right to a perfect transition for me is could your former offensive lineman, can an offensive line, A, lose weight through a season, and B, develop in the run game because you're having a hard time getting to the second level. You're having a hard time moving guys. Like, you're getting an okay stalemate from time to time, but you're not really getting to the second level, and you're not getting great run blocking from the outside. The wide receivers are not really getting physical in the run game. Can you develop this in 3 weeks, or is it just going to be kind of is what it is for Alabama's offense, and Ty Simpson's going to have to shoulder a big, big load this weekend and the rest of the year?
Well, I think stylistically and as an ideology at Alabama this year, I wouldn't be making my offense about the run anyways. Y'all have one of the best, if not the best, wide receiver cores in all of college football. I think the 3-headed monster that is Jeremy Bernard, Isaiah Horton, and Ryan Williams should be getting 35 attempts a game. Like, that, y'all should be driving the ball down the field. You should be aggressively hunting through the air. Like, that's what I would make my ideology about. With your question of can they actually get better? Yeah, I mean, you can build rapport throughout the season. Like, you can get better at doing things that you're not good at week 1 as the season progresses, especially as we continue to add on more and more concepts, give defenses more and more things to look at, right? Find things as the season that we're better at that we didn't necessarily know that we were really, really good at, right? That happens throughout college football all the time. It happens on Sundays all the time. There are teams that are really, really bad to start the season at one thing, and they get better at that as they continue to make a concerted effort about that, right? That's football by nature. We don't know what we're flawed at until we go get exposed. And then once it's exposed, we got to work to get better at that. I don't want to sound, fire alarms off at that. You asked about weight loss. As a player in and of my own right, like, I would come into camp as heavy as possible because I knew camp would shed 15 pounds off me, pure water weight. All right. But once camp was done, I better be at my playing weight. I don't want to be fluctuating up or down in the middle of the season. I want to be focused on playing ball.
Yeah. We're hanging out with Brooks Austin. You follow him on the Twitter machine at Brooks Austin BA, and we're talking about Alabama and Georgia. Alabama going over to Athens as a 2-3-point underdog. I'm really, really worried about Alabama's defensive front against this Georgia offensive line. And people online are saying, well, the Georgia offensive line is no good. It's not as good as it used to be. And maybe, okay, you're looking at one position that's maybe a question mark, and you've dealt with some shuffling along the offensive line for Georgia. Maybe you can detail what Georgia's dealing with the offensive line, but in particular, you look at the last 2 weeks for Alabama, and yeah, you've had better outings against ULM and Wisconsin, but I don't think it means squat because of the competition level. So I go back to the first week against Florida State and think, yeah, Alabama's still got a lot of problems stopping the run, especially when you incorporate quarterback run. How do you see Georgia really just keeping Alabama off balance with a steady diet of all kinds of different run looks and really utilizing Gunnar Stockton as well?
Look, there is no doubt there is a significant advantage for Alabama in this football game, at least going into it at that right tackle spot for Georgia. Whether it's Bo Hughley, whether it's Ernest Green, whether it's Wangat, whoever it is out at right tackle, if LT Overton and Quay Rousseau is standing over them, that's probably an advantage for Alabama. There's no doubt about that. It was that case at Tennessee 2 weeks ago. That defensive unit from Tennessee is really, really good. I think they're a top 20 unit in the sport of college football, especially as they continue to get healthy. Guys, they went on the road, did Georgia's offense in that football game, and ran 96 offensive snaps. How do you do that? I know there was some overtime, but there were 3 offensive plays in overtime, guys. The bulk of that work was done in the 60 minutes of that football game, and they did it through running the football and doing so at will. They opened up the second half of that football game against Tennessee down 7 points on the road. Actually, down 3 points on the road or whatever the situation was. Went on a 13-play scoring drive, ran the ball 12 out of those 13 plays. I mean, down their gullet, right down their face on the road. So Georgia is getting back to what Georgia was. I'll be with Alabama fans saying the last 2 years, Georgia has not been able to run the football to quote-unquote Georgia standards. Hell, the stats don't lie. I think they finished in the bottom 100 last year in yards per carry. They were abysmal. But, guys, they have a threat at the quarterback position with his legs now, and it changes the run counts completely. It changes everything about how you defend the run against Georgia, and they've gotten much better. It's a concerted effort this offseason, right? They went out and hired 2 NFL assistants, right? 1 NFL tight ends coach and 1 NFL offensive line coach. Those guys are offensive analysts now at the University of Georgia that were NFL position coaches a year ago, whose entire job is to make sure that they're more sound in the run game. And it's bared out. I think there's 100% results in that. But there is no doubt the right tackle is a current problem for Georgia. I think they found somewhat of an answer towards the end of that game against Tennessee with Bo Hughley. And I expect them to continue to search for answers if Bo doesn't turn out to be one against Alabama.
Let's keep talking about that Georgia offense, and particularly the man under center, Gunnar Stockton. A lot of early in the season is he going to be able to step into the role? Obviously, he stepped in late in the year last year for an injured Carson Beck. He's going to step in and make the offense explosive. You go out in the transfer portal, and you get lots of great players, particularly Zachariah Branch. First week, maybe a little bit of a quick trigger and kind of using his legs, but really in the Tennessee game, showing his real, with the 4th and 6 pass into the end zone to ultimately tie the game with a 2-point conversion, making some throws. How have you seen Gunnar Stockton develop as a quarterback so far? And is there any way to shake his confidence going into this game for Alabama?
Yeah, 100%. I just wonder if defensive coordinators are actually going to do it. Look, he has not shown 100% confidence throwing into zone coverages. There's no doubt about it. Like, people watch the first 2 weeks where I think it's Austin P. There are Marshall's dropping 8 on every passing down, rushing 3, dropping 8, playing a lot of soft zone coverage, forcing check downs, forcing him to either check it down or throw it into tighter windows down and beyond the sticks. And he chose not to do so. All right. And it showed out in the stats, and it showed out in the reactions to those performances. Going into that Tennessee football game, man, there's not a Georgia fan on this planet that will look you in the face confidently and say, I believe this guy's going to go throw for 300 yards and we're going to win this game scoring 44 points. If they did, they're a liar. They're an absolute liar, because my mention showed me they didn't believe in the guy. All right. So he goes up there to Tennessee and shreds man coverage to death. That's what he did. All right. That you talk about that 4th and 7 play. That's a man-to-man beater. That's a switch release at the line of scrimmage. Ty Redmond, a freshman, gets caught on his heels, and London Humphreys runs by him for a touchdown. The coinciding 2-point conversion you just mentioned, that's a man-to-man beater. That's Zachariah Branch beating on a switch release, a corner that wasn't quite prepared for the stacked motion that he ultimately got in a critical 2-point conversion, right? There's dozens of plays like that in that football game where Tennessee is rushing 5, trying to get home, and making it a game of, is Gunnar tough enough to stand in there, and can their wide receivers beat our corners? And I'm here to tell you right now today, and I've said this multiple times over this season, if you're going to go into a football game against Georgia making it about, is Gunnar tough? The answer is a resounding yes. He is tough as nails. There's no doubt about that. And if the other question is going to be, can Georgia's receivers beat your DBs in man-to-man coverage? They're probably going to win because they've spent all of their money that they didn't spend on their quarterback on weapons. They have real weapons this year. I don't think it's as good as Alabama's, but they've got great weapons that can't be left in man-to-man coverage all of the time. Guys, I think Wisconsin was 6 of 11 last or 2 weeks ago on third down. I don't know if that's correct, but I think it was something around that. Y'all dominated that football game, but couldn't get off the field oftentimes on third down. And when I watched it, guess what you were doing? You were playing cover one. You were playing man-to-man coverage. I don't know why. Y'all earn it every single down playing zone coverage. And then he wants to get exotic on third down and gets his throat slit. I just wonder if Womack's going to be a little bit like, oh, dude, you be vanilla in this football game, and I promise you, you'll look like the most methodical genius in the world. But if you come out here making it dude football, is that dude better than that dude? You're probably going to get shredded. It's
because the pass rush can't get home by themselves.
I don't believe that to be the case. I don't believe that to be the case. I think Quay Rousseau, LT Overton, James Smith, I think they're damn good rushers. All right. I think they're fine. I think you can get home rushing fourth. That's my opinion. Now, I'm not paid $900 million, $900,000, $1 million to coach that defense. I don't get to sit there every single day. But when I watch them on tape, I think you got pretty damn good football players. That's just my opinion.
We're hanging out with Brooks Austin, and you subscribe to him on the Film Guy Network on YouTube. He writes for Georgia Bulldogs on SI. Brooks, I want to ask a selfish question because I got a lot of Georgia fan friends and a lot of Georgia fan family. Graduated around the time of Herschel Walker and saw the beginnings of the Vince Dooley days, and I hear so many complaints about Mike Bobo. And I've seen some of your takes. Mike Bobo is no good, is what they say. Mike Bobo is a bust, is what they say. We need to go back and pay Todd Monken whatever we can. What's your opinion on Mike Bobo?
Look, I don't think Mike Bobo is a top 10 coordinator in the world of football. Todd Monken is. And that's Mike Bobo's biggest problem. Mike Bobo's biggest problem is that he called too many draw plays in 2012 and that he's not Todd Monken. But he's still like a top 40 coordinator in this sport. I'd say he's top 15 in college football, top 20 in college football, and I'd say he's top 50 in the world with regards to designing concepts, designing an offensive game plan, and going out there and executing or having his guys execute that game plan. Like, I don't understand. Like, dude, I was here in 2019. I covered this football team. I watched what it looked like when James Coley was offensive coordinator. I know what bad offense looks like. I know what it looks like when it's not called correctly. I know what it looks like when I'm watching offensive football and going, why in the hell are you asking that guy to do that? He's not any good at that. He can't do that. Why do you keep asking him to do it? He doesn't do that kind of stuff. So, like, I've never understood the hatred. I think it's just a whipping post. I think he is just somebody that they can constantly look at and say, well, he's our problem. Because the other guy came down here for 3 years and won 2 national titles. So it must be this guy. They don't want to talk about Brock Bowers. They don't want to talk about Darnell Washington. They don't want to talk about Ladd McConkey. They don't want to talk about all the talent. They don't want to talk about the 5 first-round draft picks that he had on the offensive line. They damn sure don't want to talk about that. Like, they don't want to talk about talent. They just want to say, well, this offensive coordinator is not doing a good enough job because that offensive coordinator did. Look, I think you guys got into some of this as well. Like, I think Alabama fans unrightfully criticized Tommy Rees for 2 years, to be honest with you. Like, I didn't think that guy was doing all that bad of a job. Y'all hated him for his lack of development with Jalen Milroe, went out and hired an offensive guru in Caleb DeBoer. And guess what? 2,800 yards of passing, and you turn him into a running back half the football game because that's what he is. So, like, this happens. It's college football. We got to blame somebody. You're going to blame the coordinator 9 times out of 10.
Oh, Mason, you're muted.
And I'm back. A little bit of storm knocked out the Wi-Fi there for a minute, but we're good to go now. I want to ask you about the, something not necessarily X's and O's related, but a little bit outside of the game. The atmosphere there in Athens. How much do you think that's going to really play effect into this game? Because Joe and I talked about it earlier this week, and I'm kind of in the camp that I think Ty Simpson got a pretty good taste of what a hostile environment looks like week 1 against Florida State. And I'm not sure how much he's going to necessarily be rattled by the crowd in Athens, rattled by this supposed blackout by the crowd in Athens that I've heard about a little bit. And I'm just interested what your take is as to how much the
the build up to this game, the atmosphere surrounding it is really going to affect a quarterback who, it really only has 3 starts to his name.
I mean, in this conference, people always talk about Neyland. They talk about Death Valley. They talk about these other places, and they're loud. Don't get me wrong; they're really, really loud. But this stadium in Athens is very specifically loud for certain matchups. For example, Notre Dame came down here at night in 2019. I think they had 7 false starts in that football game. Arkansas was here at a noon kickoff, and I think they had 6 false starts in that football game. In 2022, Tennessee was here in a rain game, and I think they had 7 false starts in that football game. So it might not be, people might not talk about it like Death Valley, but it produces, right? It produces in terms of big time moments, big time football games. It's going to be loud on Saturday. Also, the other thing that I noticed about Alabama, they're a check at the line of scrimmage. They give him 2 plays in the huddle. They allow him freedom at the line of scrimmage. That stuff gets a little bit more difficult on the road. You could see it at Doak Walker. Some of those false starts are you guys trying to get a check at the line of scrimmage, but it's just too loud. So we think that's a snap count. It's actually not. We have a false start. That type of stuff has to be simplified on the road in the SEC. Every single team has to do this. They have to go on the road and make the game plan much more vanilla, so they're not doing all that pre-snap stuff. They got to line up and play football if they want to have success. The other thing I think Kirby alluded to this week that is 100% true, it's tough to play in Athens because you're playing the Georgia Bulldogs. They're a good football team. They're just really, really good. They got great football players on both sides of the ball. They're going to be hard to beat no matter what, especially in their place. And you can say that Ty's not going to get rattled, but as an outside observer, and people will say he's not an outside observer, he covers Georgia. As an outside observer looking at Alabama the last couple of years, the biggest question is, who are you on the road? We know y'all can beat football teams at home. We know you can play great at home, but you're 4 head-scratching, what in the hell happened today to Alabama moments have all come on the road in a neutral site game against Michigan. So that's the biggest question in this football game. It's not, is the 93,000 going to sound like Death Valley? It's, are y'all going to travel? Is this football team going to play to its standard on the road? That's the biggest question for me about this home field advantage. And no, by the way, I don't think there's going to be a blackout. I don't think they want none of that. I don't want the juju. This is every fan base. I don't know if they're superstitious, but they're a little stitious, and I don't think they want none of that.
Was that just something the school Barstool account tried to stir up?
Yeah, man.
That's what I thought it was.
Yeah.
They
look, we are getting into an age of Barstool accounts where the people running them accounts probably don't even remember 2012. They probably don't remember 2015. They don't know. They don't know what that is. They don't know that there's bad juju here, man. They just know, ooh, blackouts look cool. Let's do it.
We're hanging out with Brooks Austin. Just a few more minutes with him. You can follow him on the Twitter machine at Brooks Austin BA. Brooks, more electric player in this game, Ryan Williams or Zachariah Branch?
I think it's Ryan Williams, but Zachariah Branch tends to get more opportunities. I feel like Ryan is a 5 for 160 guy, and I think Zachariah is a 9 for 110 guy. And that's a difference in type of explosion, right? Zach can take Zachariah, he prefers Zachariah. Zachariah can go 75. Ryan seems it's when is he going to go 75 is what it feels like to me. But man, it's what's so weird about him is 2 weeks ago against Wisconsin, he has a big game. And it's really just 2 catches in my mind. It's the 75-yard screen pass, and then it's the corner route that he sticks his foot in the ground and then runs for another 40 yards. But that's all it takes. That's all it takes, and he has murdered you. And that, honestly, that's what it happened last time. Last time he has a couple of plays in the first half, and then it's all right. And then, bam, death immediately, Ryan Williams. So, that's what's terrifying about him. And that, to answer your question, makes him that much more electrifying.
Subscribe to Brooks Austin at the Film Guy Network on YouTube. I'll just leave you the last word here. I know on Monday you predicted 31-28 Alabama, but really give us your final thoughts on this game as Alabama heads into Athens on Saturday.
Yeah, I think the recipe for success for Alabama is to throw the football. Like, I don't think Alabama's coming over here and going to run the ball to success. I don't even think they're going to come over here and be a balanced football team to success. But to be honest with you, DeBoer and Ryan Grubb have a history of being okay with that. Like, they're okay only rushing for 120 yards and still finding a way to put up 500 yards of total offense. They're okay doing that. They've figured out ways to do that in the past. I don't feel good about the prediction of Alabama winning that football game or winning this football game, to be 100% honest with you, but I'll just ride it. Like I said, from the jump, this first question you asked me, why Alabama? Just because. Guys, we have a stat on our show that got brought up last night of, hey, the first team to 30 points is 23-0 in this matchup. In the 73 times they've played, if you get to 30 points and you're the first team to do it, you're 23-0. And I start running through all the examples in the history of this rivalry of how many times that had happened. And guess what? Of the last 10, 9 of them are just Alabama taking the belt off and smacking. I mean, just absolutely smacking. 38-10, 41-27. I mean, just years and years of domination. So, like, I'm not going just because it's DeBoer, just because it's been bad. Like, dude, they get up and play like Bama every once in a while. And until they don't do it against Georgia, I'm going to pick it to happen.
Thanks so much for joining us. We look forward to seeing your coverage. Georgia Bulldogs on SI on the internet side, the Film Guy Network on YouTube, and Brooks Austin BA on the Twitter machine. Appreciate your time, Brooks. Have a great day.
No doubt, boys.
There we go. Awesome. Let's get back here and let's finish up the program today. We appreciate Brooks Austin joining us yesterday afternoon, really playing it today as an interview. Go follow Brooks Austin at Brooks Austin BA on the Twitter machine. You're already subscribed to him, the Film Guy Network on YouTube, just like you're subscribed to the BamaCentral YouTube channel. We appreciate everybody who has jumped in with us on the Joe Gaither Show today. We want to encourage you, if you're looking for more Alabama coverage, I want to encourage you to look on the podcast platforms, look on the BamaCentral YouTube channel for Crimson Flame. Katie Wyndham put out her first real episode. She had an introductory episode, kind of a tester episode a week earlier. But Katie Wyndham is running a brand new podcast for the BamaCentral Broadcasting Network called Crimson Flame, and it is featuring the hardworking women of Alabama athletics. It's going to be, the first episode is with Gianna Paul, great soccer player on campus. Gianna Paul has broken the scoring record for the University of Alabama. She is a bad mamma jamma as a forward for the Alabama soccer team, and Katie Wyndham spent about 20-25 minutes with her for her first episode. So if you need more Alabama coverage in your life, Alabama athletics coverage in your life, and if you're missing Katie Wyndham because she joins us every so often, and I get lots of comments every single time, we need more Katie Wyndham. Look up Crimson Flame and check out her new podcast, her first real episode debuting yesterday with Gianna Paul. Mason, biggest thing that stuck out to you with Brooks? You want to get into it tomorrow? 120 rushing yards?
Yeah, that was, oh man, I would love 120 rushing yards in this game. I would be stoked to see 120. When he said that, I was, I do not expect Alabama to reach that number. So yeah, oh man, that would be awesome though if they did.
Yeah, so let me just real quick as we get out of here, look at these rushing numbers for the last 3 games. They haven't
gone over 100.
No, they haven't. Florida State was a terrible number. Florida State was like 87. Yeah, 87. ULM was probably a little better. Okay, ULM was better because you had you really got after them. ULM was 212.
Okay.
Especially you had AK Deer with like that 80-yarder at the end.
Yeah.
Right. And then Wisconsin, a bad day at the rushing department, 72 in the rushing department.
Gross.
Yeah. So 120, we'll take it, Brooks. We will take it.
I'll be stoked with that.
Absolutely. So we're going to get out of here for the day. We appreciate everybody joining us on the YouTube, BamaCentral YouTube channel, on the BamaCentral Facebook page, right there on your favorite Apple Podcast, Spotify, Amazon, on your favorite podcast platform. Subscribe, rate, review the program on your favorite podcast platform. Share it with a friend as we're having a lot of fun getting you ready for this weekend's game. We'll do a Football Friday. We'll see if Katie wants to join us or if Theo wants to join us. We'll get a third body in here and have a lot of fun tomorrow on the show, predicting this game and many, many more. So enjoy the football tonight. East Carolina on your TV. Get to know the Pirates before they come to town next year. Or if you're an NFL person with the Amazon, your fantasy football week starts tonight. Make sure you set your lineup. So we'll get out of here for the day, and we'll talk to you tomorrow right here on the Joe Gaither Show on BamaCentral and BamaCentral.com.